Hi guys, welcome back to the show. So time now for Lifestyle Daily. Now today we're talking about the high attrition of nurses and teachers. Now beyond the politics, beyond a lot of the conversations happening in Ghana, two very important professions we really cannot overlook, and we cannot talk about this enough. And so this morning we try to understand them, what is really causing this, are they going and coming, and as Mujaya Hokra. I mean, let's have some conversation with some nurses and teachers. Divine is also here to even put it more in some perspective, especially at the education sector as well. But quickly, I like to come and bear some good news for you. So there's nothing more pleasing than top choco chocolate spread on bread. It has the power to awaken your taste bud and make you happy instantly. The Top Choco 3-in-1 instant mixed chocolate drink is suitable for preparing both cold chocolate, milkshakes, and cups of delicious hot chocolate. Just add hot water. Introducing the latest addition to our Top Choco family, the Top Choco Choco Cup, which is suitable for everyone and will surely be a crowd pleaser. Children can take it to school and imagine serving these cups at birthday parties, picnics, and any other gathering. This chocolatey treat will definitely make their day. Get your hand on the Top Choco Choco Cup today and experience the joy of chocolate spread in a cup. Remember, Top Choco is made with love in Ghana using only the finest ingredients. Top Choco, it is chocolatey. Let's have that very important conversation this morning. I'm joined by Lenov Amponsa, and he is International Relations Affairs Secretary, the Ghana Nurse and Midwives Trainees Association. You'd find him in the very colorful African print when we get to talk to him. I have also got a fine gentleman here, Don Francis, who is a teacher and also an educator, who's sitting very close to me, very suited up. And our very good friend, Divine Ekpe, Senior Program Officer, Edu Watch, who'd be putting some more light into some of the factors that's causing most of the teachers to be, wanting to jump ship out of this country. Then a fine woman I definitely would love to hear from, Elizabeth Boating, who is Principal Nursing Officer, facing me directly. Let's have that very important conversation. Divine, it's been a while. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well. Yourself?
Has the education side been very eventful?
You know, there's no day that we are not hearing of something.
The minister says that is not true, that we don't have a lot of teachers in Ghana, despite a lot of teachers, moving outside of the country. He thinks that there's more than enough teachers in the country that if we said the get-go today, there won't be shortage of teachers. Is this true?
Oh yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we have enough teachers in the country. Annually, we produce about 30,000 teachers, and we license about 12,000 teachers.
Okay.
And post them into the classroom. So there are a good number of teachers at home that are not engaged. And even beyond those that are not engaged, even if you come to those that are engaged, if you look at the data, it is not necessary, although there are empty classrooms, especially in underserved communities. It is not because there are no teachers, but because of deployment challenges. Our assessment of the last medium-term plan for education, we realized that teachers are concentrated more in urban areas compared to the rural areas.
For obvious reasons, right?
Of course, very obvious. So you are likely to get into a class and see a primary classroom, not because they have high number of pupils, but there are 2 teachers in that particular classroom.
Okay.
So if we are able to redeploy effectively to a greater extent, to be able to address the deficit that is existing in the underserved communities.
Okay.
So obviously it's because teachers are not willing to stay in the underserved communities because of the conditions that are there. And that is why we are seeing more empty classrooms in
despite us having more teachers.
So I agree with the minister. Okay. We are not at a point of saying we are facing teacher shortage in Ghana yet. We are not. But if the trend, because this year we heard that 10,000 of them relocated to UK. If we are going to see this trend in the next few years, in the very medium term,
would have that shortage.
Yes, it's going to create a problem.
Lena, so the health sector is not been left out of this conversation. In fact, yours is quite the recent one that have happened, that most nurses, most nurses. They didn't say doctors, they said nurses. And so tell me, is the picture and the conversations we're hearing in the news correct? Is it accurate?
Well, yes, exactly. When you take nurses, for example, I think looking at the rate at which nurses are moving out, it's quite worrying. And I think it calls for an engagement on this. In fact, per last year, 2022, almost 10,000 nurses left Ghana.
Yeah.
This is a report from the BBC. We joining the UK workforce.
Yeah.
So indeed, it's
Are they, because it is attrition, I'm forced to ask, are they moving to go and pursue nursing, or they move and then they change their profession completely?
Oh, some go and eventually they become orderlies and other staffs.
Okay.
But whilst here, they were the best workers. For example, very experienced and all that. But they go there and most of them find themselves doing virtually works that orderlies will do over here. But they all do this in search of a greener pasture. Because the working condition, I must say, for nurses in Ghana is very appalling.
Okay. Elizabeth, how long have you been a nurse?
13 years in the nursing
13.
profession. Yes.
Is it a profession that you intentionally went into, or one of those I say, or they find nursing training for because it's a more secured job? Is it something that you looked forward to and you went to school for?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Something I wanted to do, and apparently my family, my grandma, my mother, my father, everyone was saying that because of the way I am, I have to be a nurse.
Okay.
Even though I wanted to be an accountant, they were pursuing me. They said, be a nurse. And I looked at myself and I saw that, I have that innate abilities and the passion to be a nurse. And being a nurse for 13 years in the service, I have not regretted.
Okay.
Because it comes with blessings as well as curses, but I have chosen the blessing.
Okay.
And I'm really proud of it.
In your 13 years of being a nurse, have you ever nursed the idea of wanting to, move out of Ghana?
Okay, for the past years, no. But recently, I have the idea of moving out, not to go and work for money or so. I have to advance myself in my education or in my professional skills.
Okay.
So if I'm going there, because since when I completed university, I have that mind of pursuing further education in nursing and acquiring the international skills to come back and impact in my community.
Okay. Lenov, I'll come to you, Dawn, shortly. Lenov, now, whatever it is that Elizabeth is seeking to achieve outside the country, we don't have it available here. We don't have a detailed level of health education in Ghana here that if she wants to go to the UK or go to America or anything, she can't get it here in Ghana. It won't be the same standard?
Okay, I think there is. I think now when you go to Ghana College of Nursing, I think they are doing very well. A lot of nurses are now specializing over there and that. But most people will prefer going outside to gain the experience also there and come back to also work. But now the case has not been that case.
Okay.
A lot of people move in search of greener pastures.
Okay.
Looking at the working conditions of nurses currently, how the salaries that nurses receive, even the allowances are not even coming.
Okay.
So it's quite worrying. That is why we see a lot of nurses moving out.
Okay.
For example, when you take Accra Regional Hospital, for example, at the intensive care unit alone, 20 nurses left there.
Out of how many?
think-
Well, they'll be rotating, so
Yes.
most nurses. So 20 at
20.
intensive care, such an
Intensive care
emergency service
Sure.
that is required.
Yes.
Okay. Dawn, how long have you been a teacher?
Yeah, that's officially 2 years, and I'm my third year now.
Okay. And as experience, would you ever leave the country? How long are you hoping to teach in Ghana?
You know,
You ever bought video?
I wanted to answer this question right on the show.
Okay.
And I think teachers live in Ghana, there's more to the whole situation. I want to bring this perspective. You know, there's what we call standardization. And now the standard is global standard. If you are into education, you realize that our education system, it all began from the new curriculum. We want to train global citizens. And the teacher should be a global teacher, a 21st century teacher who can teach in the UK, in China, in Ghana. So once the person attains the standard of being that global teacher, then the person sees, oh, I can teach in UK and get enough salary, enough benefits, then you think that place will be quite okay. But for some of us who believe in change and believe in changing our country, we think we can stay behind and do something. And asking me, how long will I be a teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll forever be a teacher. Once a teacher, I'm always a teacher. But the question is, how long would you be a teacher in Ghana?
In Ghana.
I do not have the dream of living to teach elsewhere. I have a lot of lives I'm changing. And for now, I have no answer to saying I'll be leaving the field for now. But I may go outside and educate myself and come back.
Okay.
So that's the whole situation.
Divine, this is where I'll come to you. What did he mean by the curriculum now? Is it that we have global curriculum and asking teachers who have been trained locally to implement global and international standard of teaching? Where are they going to get it from? Do they have it? Are we as a country given that training for them to be able to produce the level of education that their curriculum is asking for?
All right, thank you. Yeah, you know, in education system, if you want to determine quality, the first variable you look at is the quality of the teacher. So over the years, there have been significant reforms to improve teachers that we deploy into our classrooms. And it starts even at the point of training, and then when it comes to the field too, we are seeing significant reform. At the point of training, previously you could send D7 also to College of Education. Now you can't send that. That's
the requirement standard has become higher.
Yes, that's the beginning. So even at the entry point, the standard has been raised.
Okay.
The grade you come into the colleges with has been raised. And then we have reformed from 3-year diploma award institutions to now 4-year degree award institution. And if you look at how teachers are trained in the colleges, it has changed. And right from the go, they have been attached to schools that even from first year, I recall previously you have to be in the 3rd year before you begin your attachment with a school to learn the best practices. But even right from the go, from first year, you are already attached to a school, you are learning practical works all the go. So the curriculum too has changed. If you look at the curriculum, yes, we have reformed the curriculum at the colleges, very good. Now, if you come to, you are even existing, now you write licensure. So now it's not that you have completed, you have been posted into the classroom, no. There's an exam that will ensure that we are recruiting the best. And then also now when you are in the field, now we have professional development. You have to accrue some points for you to continue to be a teacher. So teachers are now being licensed. Even those that are in the field, they have to have a license, and that license have to be renewed after every 3 years. And before you renew it, you have to accrue some points in terms of what you are doing in the classroom, in terms of you updating your knowledge. So yes, in terms of teaching, yeah, we are.
What happens to the people that were trained years ago? Is it enough to write the licensure exams and then we say that they have met the threshold to deliver? Maybe somebody will say, well, I don't think I can pass this licensure exam, so I have a relative outside the country. Let me just...
No, you know, trust me, it is even because of these reforms that we are seeing teachers leaving.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have seen what we are doing with our teacher force. That is why we need to protect them and retain them. Because we can't produce teachers to meet a standard that other countries say, oh, they are meeting global standard. And then we want to bring them into our country. They are seeing what we are probably not seeing. That's the more reason we need to invest in them, ensure that they remain. Okay. You see, so that our teachers, Ghana has done well in terms of teacher quality. We are investing in teachers, and I'm sure we don't need to let these investments go to waste by letting them go, but look at how we retain them.
I'm going to learn off, but when I come to you, Don, you will tell me do you live off your teacher salary? Also, I think you're by far, you and Divine are the people that are in education that I see you dress and your shoe is not making me not want to be a teacher. You know, I'm motivated that if I want to be a teacher, I can be. You're all suited up and all of that. Do you have a side job? All the factors that teachers have been complaining about, are they better now? Are they still the same? But Leonard, the situation in the health sector has never really changed since I was a child. Okay. I've never heard any nurse say that, oh, 50 time I'm be a nurse, no, and you memu ye, and Anna and your memu ye to see about nurse in sector near Fenty, me per se, I want to go in there. It's been like that. So when a nurse tells me that, unlike Elizabeth, who wants to seek higher education, and I'll come back to her to ask her why she's not seeking it in Ghana. If I know that at nursing training level I can get allowances and all of that, and I go and the allowance is not coming, at least I know that the government owes me. So the factors today, are they different from before? For a nurse to want to get the training, then today they say because the conditions are not okay, they are going outside the country. Do you understand my question?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I get it. I think as we always say that nursing is a calling. But for now, I don't think...
It's not a calling
for
anymore.
now, it's not a calling. It's not. If even Florence Nightingale calls us now, I think some of us will not respond. But in those days, nursing
So the conditions didn't matter?
Oh, yes.
Even if baby I bet post you no matter what it is, because you feel the passion, you're driven by passion more than the living,
Exactly.
the standard of living as a nurse.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So now, because it's not a calling, do we have the people who have the current training moving, or we have those who have, for somebody like Elizabeth, who's about 13 years of experience? Because recently we noticed that they said it is those with a high level of experience that are leaving. So it means that it is the people that belong to the calling era. They are now leaving. And Lena.
Oh, that, for me, I don't think.
Elizabeth, what do you think?
We are all leaving. Both the younger ones and because we have deputy director nurse, that is the DDNS, going outside to UK to be a carer or to be maybe RN. And RN, you are not going to start from your, let's say, 35 years or 20 years or so. You are going to start from the scratch. So both of us, the 1 year experience, 2 years experience, 13 years, 20 years, we are all leaving.
Okay, so Lena, basically, the standard of living in the nursing sector, which you have saying, it's for both the experienced people and then the new entrants that have come into it. How is it affecting, let me come to Dawn, but when I come to you, how is it affecting the nursing, I want to use the word industry. The doctors have said how it is affecting them, but how is it affecting you people as an association, as individuals that are there? I'll come to you when I'm done. What salary, is that what you live on? Apart from the passion, because we have had people who have had the passion and all of that, and yet your passion will dry up if the standard of living is not, watering your passion, right? You have just been in there 2 years, so I'm sure maybe somebody teaching for 13 years because some days you say no bemo. It's in the passion is fresh.
Yeah.
Do you hear that?
Oh, yeah. Even right within where you teach, your colleagues will tell you, look, keep on doing because when we came, we're like you. So you can keep on. But definitely a day is coming when the passion will go down. And there are factors that will let the passion go down. And the funny thing is that this whole thing we are talking about hasn't been Ghana alone. It was because of this very conversation I had to read wide across from Australia, and then from the United States, and then the UK.
But they're not coming to Ghana.
Yes, that's the issue.
They go anywhere else apart from Ghana.
They also live almost with similar reasons. Now, I read a view by some group of people. It wasn't actually only a view. It was a study conducted in the Ashanti region from 2009.
Okay.
And the situation has always been the same. But talking about our salary and all of those things, honestly, it will always never be enough.
Yeah.
It won't be. And it's not we teachers alone. And for my field, and as a young person, I have the energy. So sometimes I do extra things aside from that. I do IT, I write. Now, these things help you get a bit of, because for us who teach in the rural areas, like Divine just said, the teacher ratio for people in the rural areas is very, very down.
Where do you teach?
I teach in Gomwa, France.
And where were he?
Central region.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere, Agransuju. And we, for a person like me, I do a lot of community projects. I run a library with my friends. I do all of these things. And my salary, the thing is, my salary, I do more than I'm paid. But how long can this be?
Right.
That is the situation. And how many teachers can do what I do? I often tell my friends, look, if you can't do what I'm doing, just do what you can do. Because over the period of months we've already taken this year, what I've done, it's far more than the salary I've received. But can I continually do this? And like I told you, I have made up my mind I'm not leaving. Yeah. But I'll tell a colleague teacher, if you are raising to the global standard and you think you can educate or you can teach elsewhere, where the conditions of service, every other benefit that is due you would be there for you, I feel the person can go. If recently I was at GIS, then we went for a conference, and we met a lot of educators from around the world, almost at least 50 countries coming to Ghana. And what I realized was that teachers are not stationed anymore. You don't condition yourself to your country like that. I'm from Ghana, then I'm a Ghanaian teacher, and that's all. You are a global teacher, a 21st century teacher. And if you feel in Ghana, it's not, because like we just said, you have grown the individual, you have grown the teacher to a global standard. Your facilities and all other things that makes the job a global standard.
It's not there.
It's not there.
So for you, it's okay that a person can want to go and...
For me, yeah, it's okay.
I'm passionate for now.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. If you go outside there, if you go outside there, yes. Well, if you go outside there and you work for a while, and you have the dream of building your country back, we have people, for me, because I am a social media person and a teacher, I have people in the United States, someone just texted me, and they are so much interested in what you are doing because they feel like they couldn't do it and they had to leave and go elsewhere to see greener pasture. But you are staying back and you are doing that. And people are getting a lot of interest in what you do and they come back. So for me, I won't stop a colleague from going.
Okay, so by the time that these people are coming back, what will we be doing? Divine, I see what he means. He's preaching the passionate bit of it. We're looking for sustainable means of being passionate. How many people like Dawn do we have? As you have said, currently we have a lot of teachers. But what can we do? And looking at what you have said, the investments we've put in the education side, the nurses can tell me the same. I'll go and seek data from them, whether or not we have put, measures in place so that are you a global nurse?
Yeah.
You're also global?
Yes.
Same thing that we...
Yes, because we all have standard that we work with as professionals.
Yeah, okay.
So we learn the standard, whether international or... So we have a standard for the nursing. So when you go international, it's the same. When you come to the local sector, it's the same.
Okay.
So when I moved to UK, I'll fashion
You fashion the same way as you were doing. Divine, in that case, the number of teachers that we have here, what can we do to compel them not to leave? Because they are global teachers. What is it that you're going to teach in the UK that you can't teach here? Learning from Dawn over here. It means that you can teach anything you want to teach over there here as well. What can we do?
Yeah, so over the years, we have paid, as a country, we have paid lip services to conditions of teachers. And you look at collective agreements between government and teacher unions, you see flowering things that they want to do for teachers so that their conditions can be improved. But we haven't stayed true to those provisions in the conditions of service. For instance, if you look at section 15 of the collective agreement for teachers, there's a clear provision for allowance for a teacher that is teaching in a deprived community. But you ask, are we actually paying those allowances? And the fact is, we are not. We are not. The teachers are posted to underserved communities. In the collective agreements, you said you were going to give them something, but when they get there, there's nothing to keep them. And if you look at the underserved areas, teachers stay maybe maximum of 2 years, they are leaving.
Yeah. And
aside the issue of money, for me, largely, I also believe that teachers, when they talk about their condition of service, it's not even necessarily about just the money, but the working environment and the availability of resources for them to work with. That is it. Because if I'm working and my work is becoming so difficult because I don't have the resources that will make the work easier for me, then I become disinterested in the work.
But Divine, working environments, I mean, over the years, I don't know which sector in this country will come and say that my working environment is very conducive.
Oh, there are sectors that have improved working conditions, and then the environment.
Maybe their work condition is not dependent on the government.
Oh yeah, fair enough. So when we come to teaching area, you realize that you can see a teacher being undershared teaching,
Okay.
dilapidated structure teaching. Yeah, there are conditions like that.
Okay.
You wake up, the community you are posted to, there is no accommodation. You have to commute from a very long distance to get to school. So generally, that's what I mean about the working condition. And teachers are teaching in deplorable states. And if you can invest in the infrastructure and bring them up to standard, and also they get to the classroom. So look, this is a nice.
Should we lose sight of the fact that teachers under training have certain benefits? I hear say more training college alawa.
Oh. So the allowance, on average, we spend about 240 million annually on teachers.
But that's something to at least want to hold you down.
No, the issue about teachers, no, that's not. It's not for teachers. It's for trainees. Allowance for.
Yeah. So before the training that the country may have invested in you during that period.
Yeah.
We understand that the conditions you're going to teach under a shed and all of that, but
no, everybody don't go there. You are not paying them because you said one day I'm going to post you under shed.
Not at all.
Even that payment we are doing. For us, some of us, we hold a view that, look, it's high time we put a stop to it and redirect the money to improve the conditions in the schools.
Okay.
Because for us, I don't see why in today's Ghana we should still be paying students that are in tertiary school. Of course, somebody who is having the same degree in the university, University of Cape Coast, Winneba, is paying.
Yeah.
And the same person in College of Education is also taking the same certificate. It's a 4-year degree. They are 4-year degree. The same thing. They are all entering with the same qualification.
Yes.
But university is not taking, college is taking.
Yeah.
So what is the motivation? You said you want to attract more persons to the field because of
that was the real objective of.
Oh yeah, the
isn't the same objective for nurses to attract you people to come into it, and you don't know.
The inception of that allowance is about attracting persons. But you ask yourself, we don't need money to attract persons to College of Education. In fact, when we removed that allowance, the year that NDC removed that allowance, that was even the year we recorded the highest enrollment in colleges of education.
Interesting.
Oh yes. Because the allowance was removed, they were able to absorb more persons into. So it is not a case that we need the allowance to attract more persons. In fact, as I'm saying, there are quite some conditions that are existing to attract persons, even for removing a diploma now, and now you say, I'm giving you degree.
Okay.
It's enough motivation for somebody to go to college and say that, okay, I don't have to go 3 years of diploma, and after that, I'm now going to chase degree.
Right.
No, so that alone, the degree alone.
Because you have actually even increased the intake, right?
Yes.
The standard for the requirement for somebody to enter into the training college. Okay. Auntie Elizabeth, why are you not seeking the higher education that you want in Ghana? Why not?
Okay. I think ASA is for me, I'm talking for myself. I've seen the education conditions in Ghana. For instance, somebody will go and specialize in ICU, intensive care units, theater nursing, and when they come, or palliative care, which I'm really passionate to do, when the person comes, they are, let's say I'm working in 37 military hospital, they don't have palliative sectors there. I'll go and further my education, they will sponsor me, or they will give me leave without pay. I'll go and further my education, I'll come back, I don't have a sector or a place to work in, but I'll be forced to remain there because they have sponsored me, or I have conditions to fulfill there. I'll be forced to be there, but I will not practice where I have to be. So definitely, going outside, when I come, I now have to choose, look at the sectors that will receive my qualification, my experience, then I go there. That is my motivation of going to seek the international, because I want to do palliative care.
Okay.
And palliative care, looking at my sector where I am, they don't have facilities for that. So I have
for the training or the service delivery?
For the service. Because the training, Ghana, we have.
You have. If you want to go for palliative care training,
the Nurses College.
You can have it.
Yes.
But after you have gotten it, you won't, there's no facility for you to
practice.
So when you go to the UK now, today, if you're 100 over money now, go to the UK, which is the reason why you would want to go outside the country to further your education. Will you come back?
Yeah.
Considering the fact that there's no facility for you to to
for,
do the service?
for the present facility I am.
It's
but
okay.
I think when I explore more, I will get a facility that will have their palliative care unit and accept my qualification and accept my skills. So I'll go there. But
Okay.
I have the vision to come back
Okay.
to Ghana
Okay.
to work or impact what I've learned.
Okay. Then, so you are of the view that it is the conditions of service, conditions of even persons, individual persons, that's what's moving people. Do you, per the data, do you think that they are going and wanting to come back?
I'm not sure.
They don't want to come back
They
at
don't want
all.
to come back. And even if they will come, I think it will take more than years. So by then, I think the experiences and all those things has
Yeah?
might have
What
gone
exactly
down.
are you asking of government?
One, the salary of nurses, allowances of nurses should be increased. At least we are all receiving the same standard of care over here, standard of education over here. Then I live here to the US or the UK, then I'm paid much better than what I am receiving over here. Now we go to other healthcare facilities and even allowances that are even given to nurses.
It's not coming.
It's not coming.
So you're saying that currently how much you receive as allowance and salary, at least if the allowance was coming constant flow of the allowance, we're going to see a high number of persons at least remaining. We'll retain some nurses.
Sure.
So it's basically the financial part. The hospital facilities are quite okay, unlike the teaching facilities. Is that it?
I want to ask to my brother, I see the problem as we have the national aspect as the president giving us the allowances and other things. We have the institutional. Institutional is the conditions within the hospitals favoring the staff as nurses to work, to bring out their innate abilities.
out of them.
Yes, because when I receive the salary, I'll be okay. But when I go to work, the nurse-patient ratio will still be high, and I'll be exhausted. I will still not be comfortable with the money I'm receiving. Even though you are giving me all the allowances, all the things you have, I'm being stressed up. But unlike the international aspect, they have hours that you work.
Okay.
And you have a limited free choice to choose the hours, to choose the number of places you have to work. That is where they are getting the money.
Is this not because they have a lot more nurses? None confirm for me. Is it that we don't have a lot more nurses because a lot of people have moved, or we generally don't have a lot of nurses who have been trained nurses? Do we have trained nurses that have not been deployed?
Oh yes.
Like the education sector.
Exactly. Exactly. When you come to, I think from 2020, 2021, and even 2022, those who completed from the nursing trainings, they are still in the house.
Okay.
They have not been posted. Whilst a lot of people, nurses, are living outside, and there's no replacement.
Okay. So there's pressure on nurses
Remaining.
Exactly. I think
There's
taking the
patients-
ratio, we have 4:1,000.
So, Auntie Lizzie, in a day, what you have nurses?
Patients, let's say my ward, I've been to various wards. The first ward I was in, we have 60 patients in a ward.
Wow.
And even the 60 patients, we get some on the corridors that we have to nurse. So looking at, you come on duty, you have 2 registered nurses on duty to care for 60 patients. It will not be enough. And every patient matters. Every patient's needs matter. Because relatives will come and say, Martinez, I want you to attend to my patient. I want you to... Then I'll become frustrated. I have to maybe react in a way that will not
That
be...
we say that you
yes.
people, we're always fighting with you guys.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not us, it's the
Okay.
working conditions.
But Don, I like I like the passion. Again, I would like to have this conversation with you maybe 5 years later to see if the passion is still there. But what can you say, to people watching now, for the people that are watching, and also maybe finally to governments? We don't have a lot of people that have the passion like you. It is called the security kind of work. It's the only work that if you go, you're sure that's okay. Your salary will be, and I'm also delaying that salary, no matter how small. Okay. So what can you say to people watching you?
I think even before to people watching,
Okay.
I think we have to pay more attention to our education system.
Divine has been talking since can't you
Yes.
see he's tired?
Yeah. As for Divine, I trust you on
He's
that.
so tired. He's been talking. He says lip service. So let's
Yeah.
see. Maybe if you say it, they'll hear.
We you know, we those with the passion and we are still in the rural areas. It's not easy to see teachers in rural areas who are passionate about what you do. What is going to reduce our passion is what we face in there. You have the passion, but the facilities won't just work.
Yeah.
And if we really want to build a resilient economy, then it starts from the education. It starts right there from the education. And every child matters like every patient matters. Every child matters because they are the future. So we have to cast our mind back. All the stakeholders, that is where we mistake it. In education, we are always calling out to the teacher when the child is not performing. But the stakeholders are not coming through for us. The government, the parents, community, we the teachers ourselves, and you the media. We call on everybody to come to our support. Education is not for us alone. We are just some players in it. But to my colleague teachers, like I've already said, if you attain a standard, a global standard, I don't preach teacher exodus as much like that. But if you have the global standard to teach elsewhere, and there is opportunity, I would say you should go. Yeah, if you get that opportunity, you should go. Yes. Unfortunately, they are spending a lot to train us. That is the problem. The government, NTC, is doing so much to train us, but it's still not enough.
Well, guys, this all time will allow us. But as we've started the conversation, the nurses have put out their data. Divine is confirming what my greatest fear is. It's not that we don't have teachers, we have teachers. So now that we've started a conversation, let's give it a bit of time and let's see if the data will tweak a bit and then we can pick up on this conversation. Well, time this now be too quiet now. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And my time is already up, and we'll pick up on this conversation again.
Yes,
Divine is always here with us. If anything changes, Divine. I'll call you. All right, guys, that's just about it for today's conversation on higher attrition on nurses and teachers. There's more on the show. Do stay.